1895. Intramuros. They told me Manila would be quiet, a distant colony, too small to matter. But now, I watch an empire bleed beneath a rising sun. Smoke covers the horizon. Church bells echo through frightened streets. And above the walls, a new flag rises. William Ashford. They say Rizal returned. They say Bonifacio commands fire. They say the empire is dying. What I see is a city waiting to die. March 30th, north of Pasig. The Spanish believed the rebels were scattered, undisciplined, desperate. They were wrong. The fields hid trenches, the rivers hid rifles, and every tree watched us. Spanish sergeant, move, keep formation. Then the shooting began. One by one, the patrol disappeared into smoke and mud. Ashford shaken. Even the children fought. When the sergeant fell, a boy stepped forward. No fear, no hesitation, only war. And somehow, they let me live. April 2nd, Tay-Tay. I expected torture, execution. Instead, they fed me. And then, I met him. Jose Rizal. Jose Rizal, calm. Where are you from, Lieutenant? Ashford, Yorkshire. Rizal. Then you understand cold things. Cold men. Cold wars. Ashford, you'll burn the city to win. Rizal quietly. No, that is what they would do. There was no hatred in his voice, which frightened me more. Rizal, stay and witness, or leave and lie. So I stayed. April 10th. The battle began at sunrise. Trumpets sounded, drums thundered. Then, silence. And suddenly, war. Andres Bonifacio, charging. Forward. Antonio, Luna. Bring down the bridge. Gregoria de Jesus. Smoke forward. Move. Cannons shattered stone. Machine guns tore through streets. Even churches could not stop the fire. The city shook beneath its own history. And, through the smoke, the banner rose. Not rebellion, a declaration. April 15th, Manila Bay. From Barcelona came the warships. Iron. Smoke. The last breath of an empire. Then, three shadows appeared on the horizon. Japanese warships. No cannon fired. No warning shouted. Only silence. Like generals staring across a chessboard, waiting to see who blinks first. Andres Bonifacio, confident. We will win. Because we can wait. Longer than they can survive. And in that moment, history entered the bay. April 20th. In the end, the empire did not fall to fear, but to futility. The gates opened, the guns fell silent, and for the first time, Manila belonged to itself. There was no looting, no revenge, no burning. Jose Rizal, soft, emotional. Today, we begin. Cathedrals rang bells of peace. Children sang beneath the new banner, and the streets finally breathed. I marched behind Rizal, not as an enemy, but as a witness. Months later, I resigned my commission. I wrote these words, not for glory, but for truth. Empires are remembered for the lands they conquer, but nations are remembered for the freedom they survive for. The guns had fallen silent, but the work of freedom had only begun. The halls once ruled by governors now belong to the people. Under the golden sun and Sakura banner, a republic stood. Jose Rizal. We did not destroy the empire. It collapsed. collapsed beneath the weight of its own arrogance. Andres Bonifacio smiling. But we gave it a push. Across the islands, schools reopened, women voted, farmers reclaimed land once stolen from them, and for the first time, the nation governed itself. But independence alone would not guarantee survival. The Republic needed more than victory. It needed recognition. So envoys crossed oceans, carrying letters instead of rifles, to Tokyo, to Paris, to Washington, to the courts of the world. Apolinario Mabini then let the nations hear us. And so, the revolution entered diplomacy. In Tokyo, the East greeted the East, not as master, not as servant, but as equals. Osei-san bowing. Your Majesty, the sun has risen twice in Asia, once in Nippon, now in Luzviminda. Japan became the first nation to recognize the Republic, and with the Treaty of Pacific Brotherhood, a new alliance was born. One treaty changed the balance of Asia forever. In Paris, a Filipina stood before the world, not as subject, not as exile, but as voice. Gregoria de Jesus, powerful. The West told us liberty belonged to them, but we carved ours with blood, dreams, and bamboo blades. The audience rose in applause, even while governments trembled, because revolutions can cross oceans. America listened, but carefully. The Pacific had become valuable, and empires rarely ignore opportunity. Apolinario Mabini steady. We ask not for protection, only respect. President Cleveland offered no recognition, but no interference. For now, the Republic accepted the handshake. In Spain, the empire mourned itself. Riots spread through Madrid. Politicians blamed one another. Veterans returned home, carrying defeat in their eyes. Spanish Prime Minister, we did not lose the Philippines because we were weak. We lost them because they became strong. Rizal's books were banned, his words outlawed, but ideas do not need permission to travel. In Cuba, in Puerto Rico, in Morocco, the fire had already spread. June 12th, 1895. For the first time in centuries, the Philippines stood before the world, not as colony, but as equal. Delegates arrived from across continents: Japan, Siam, Vietnam, Korea, France, Brazil, and beneath the lights of Manila, history gathered. Jose Rizal powerful. We do not ask to lead Asia. We ask only that Asia stand together, no longer servants of empire, but authors of a new century. Then above Manila Bay,